that. And it's there. No, it's really
YOUTUB. Yeah,
and the
exactly.
thing is, we have smartphones, we have smart cameras, we have smart already, so we can keep up with that. Because it's really one of the most you have. Your cell phone, that's probably it for most people.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? I know that you loved it so much, and you actually made a vlog for us and review. So maybe we're gonna play a video
Yes,
for
sure.
that.
This was a little thing that we did with LG, and before you play, just pause for a second. It's okay. That's awkward. It's something that we decided to do, and what I really wanted to say about the video is I really appreciate how LG just let me be me here. I do some of these videos sometimes, and when corporate sort of strangle you with all these requirements, strangle your voice. So I really appreciate how LG were able to just give me the platform, say hey like, and this was the result. Isn't there busy filling it up like beds, furniture, couches, mine is time. Daniel, no! Let's go install these boxes up. Probably wondering why there are two TVs, and actually so is my wife. So let's tackle that later. Right now, just a recap. If you were paying attention in the first vlog, you know that OLED technology basically gives you perfect blacks, which gives you perfect color, which gives you perfect viewing angle, perfect design, and perfect HDR. So what makes this so different? What makes it better? What makes it worthy of an upgrade? And more importantly, what made it the world's best-selling OLED brand? First, let's talk about the design. This thing here is a talking piece in the house. You've got the picture on glass over here, which is really classy, plus this whole floating effect. But I think the whole big thing for me here is the stand. The stand is not just a stand. It actually stands for something. See what I did? Never mind. It incorporates the speakers here, so it's nice and flush and integrated. It becomes more of a talking piece on a TV in some ways. And this thing looks brilliant, even when it's off. Dad, what are the TVs? Did your mother send you to say that? Oh, okay. Well, all right, there are two reasons. The one between you and me, I just want one, all right? Number two, so what they've done is they've made the base a lot longer and it's curved. This gives you extra stability. You know how when you get all excited playing your PlayStation, sometimes the thing rocks? We don't want it to fall. Well, that will help with that. Plus, you can have the ability to put the speakers behind here. So the difference between the two, picture quality, it's exactly the same. Don't worry about that. If you're after a bit more of a fine piece of furniture versus a more functional piece of television, well, that's basically the difference between the two. You think she'll buy that? Now, another really cool feature, and to me, arguably, this is the best new feature of the new TV, is OLED meets AI. Now, we already have this stuff in our smartphones and our smart speakers, so it's only natural that our smart TVs should keep up. Sometimes, I feel it's the only one I can really talk to, but that's another story for a whole other time. You see, my previous model already had the voice commands, but that could only do things like open Netflix and some basic other stuff. This one, well, it can do a few more complicated commands. For example, I could go volume 100. Just like that. Pretty cool, huh? What? I can't hear you. Okay, fine, it's too loud. Volume 50. Happy now? Happy now? Another new feature is the Alpha 9 or the A9 intelligent processor. Well, in every TV, just like in every computer, every camera, smartphone, anything that's really intelligent, it needs a processor because that acts like the whole brain of the thing. Now, the Alpha 9, what it does is it improves specifically on two key areas. You've got picture rendering and high frame rate support. What are those? Don't worry, I'll explain. Trust me, I'll make it easy for you. Now, with regards to the picture rendering, the A9 processor follows a four-step process in improving noise reduction. Now, noise reduction has nothing to do with the volume. It's all about the picture. Have you ever taken a photo on your cell phone in low light and then tried to bump it up in the brightness? It's kind of ugly, isn't it? Because you get a lot of noise because the processor can't handle it. What the A9 intelligent processor does is it uses all that power to be able to smooth things out, and it creates this nice clear effect. So it's smooth and it's sharp at the same time. I know that's a contradiction, but so is salted caramel. And we all like that, right? The other one is high frame rate support. Now, if you're watching this sporting event, let's say Formula One or boxing or anything where it's really quick, you end up sometimes looking like this, and it's a bit shuddering. Why that happens is because normal TVs have 60 frames per second. With the new LG OLED technology, the A9 processor, it bumps that up to 120 frames per second. It gives you a nice, smooth, and clear motion. Lastly is Cinema HDR, which stands for High Dynamic Range. And that's not complicated enough for you. Just think, there's not just one type of HDR. You have your HLG, your HDR10, and it goes on and on. It gets very, very messy and complicated. Thankfully, the 2017 models of OLED LG TVs, well, they covered all of that. But as new ones come in, well, the 2018 has you covered, including the advanced HDR technology by Deakin. Well, that wraps up this video vlog of the all-new 2018 LG OLED TV. Sort of a short little test drive, so to speak, but I hope you learned a lot and I hope you enjoyed watching. It just leaves us with one final question. Is it worth the upgrade? If you already have a 2017 OLED TV, I'll be perfectly honest with you, picture quality for picture quality, they're pretty much dead even. If you're looking at the high frame rate support, which is when you're watching sport and you really want to appreciate that, that is certainly something to look for. Plus, there's a picture rendering if you're particular about noise and quality when it gets to a certain low light especially. For me, the biggest clincher was the AI. AI meets OLED. Now, you can say what you like about it. You say, come on, I can press a few buttons. Yes, you can. But you can do that with your cell phone too, and with your smart speaker. But you don't, right? Well, I don't anyway. This voice recognition, this natural voice recognition, that's the way of the future. So we may as well have it on our TVs. So was it worth it? Well, for me, obviously it was 2 times over because I got 2. Don't tell my wife. And for you, well, you're just gonna have to check it out by visiting your local appliance store and seeing for yourself. Because seeing really is believing. So until next time, this is James Deakin. I'll catch you again on another video vlog.
Wow. James, join me back up here on stage.
You're so greedy pala. 2 TVs. I'm just kidding. Okay, I know you're impartial to which one, but I'm sure your wife liked the wallpaper one.
She liked the fridge, actually. We have an LG fridge. She's just
But
all
that's
over
like
that.
me. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
fridge.
She watches the fridge as much as I watch the TV. No, we all love the TV, but of course, this here is the flagship because this here is one where you asked me earlier about what we all watch. This becomes such an experience that the whole family want to be in one room. When you have these other TVs in other rooms and stuff, they tend to split them up, people go into different rooms, but because this is such an incredible experience, this is where we have movie nights as a family, and this is why I love the WA.
So did you watch the World Cup on this TV?
You know, I didn't, I missed the World Cup. I completely missed it, but I heard it was pretty awesome, 4-2.
Like you were saying earlier, this would have been the perfect thing to watch it on. Precisely because
My
of
son
sports.
did.
Yeah,
My son
sure.
did. He was able to catch it, and he brought a bunch of friends over, and that's another thing is I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing for people, because now our house has become the hub, not just for me, but all of my kids' friends, they all want to watch TV in our house. So it's always, but for me, I love it
That's
because
okay. You can keep an eye on them.
I can't keep an eye on them. I prefer to have big gulo in my house rather than I don't know where you are, what you're doing in another person's house.
There you go. Another feature of the LG OLED TV. It's something that brings everybody together.
It does. It really
Yeah.
does.
Well, thanks so much.
Thanks, Steph.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we've seen all the beautiful features of this TV. Maybe later you can go there and take a look yourself. But if you remember correctly, earlier I mentioned about this special video that LG had commissioned for the natural history, for the Museum of Natural History, and I'm very excited I got to see snippets of this video. So to talk more about the video, may we call on the man who put it all together. Please welcome underwater videographer and photographer and commercial director, Noel Guevara. Noel, thank you.
Good afternoon. So I'm Noel. I'm underwater videographer and photographer, and also a commercial director by day. So I'll be talking about the TV and how it helps me in what I do. So this is a more technical side of the presentation. I will get this remote. So the task of